yeah, hopefully everyone can hear me now. I have a little rum with me. Oh yes. It just so happens that I am doing a lot of this sort of recording for my classes because I teach. So I was like, you know what, why don't I do some live stuff for my YouTube channel the way I'm doing for my classes. Plus, like, all my foibles and all of my mistakes and everything are recorded for all to see. This little headache that has just started right here, just gone.
College professor, adjunct. So, you know.
Maybe I should drink some of this now. Like, I was saying to myself, like, no, you can breathe. Tony, you can breathe. And Brain was like, no. And I was like, but Brain, I'm breathing now, aren't I? And Brain was like, but no. I explained to my brain. I said, but I'm not passing out. And Brain very logically said, you're dying. The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, yeah, well, 100%. I had like the long pipe, and I would go out in the woods and go, oh. I could be a wizard when I grow up. Although every once in a while I get a little tickle in my throat. You get a little tickle? Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna look for the pipe. Wait, what? I'm looking for a pipe? I thought there's a lot of keychains with my name on them. This is just like to clean vinyl records, I guess. And just one more, and then I'm done. Found handcuffs. Jeepers! It has gone beyond nipple length. Nipples beyond. Hey, look at that. And of course, breathe deep of the night. Hey everybody. I hope that you stuck around for the kind of a long intro there. How's everyone doing? Hey. Oh, I found the pipe. See, that's what the title was all about for this particular get together here. The last video, if you weren't here for the last chat, that's why I did the previously on part at the beginning of this video, so that, you know, we were talking about this pipe that I lost in the woods and found a year later. And wouldn't you know it, I found it in the drawer that I was looking for in last time. So, see, it's a little broken from a year in the woods, but, and it's not quite a wizard pipe, but it's pretty darn close, I think. Pretty close. What is there? Oh my. Alright, so I've got my chat running here. I do notice that even though I put a widget for the chat on the screen here, should be right there, it's not working. So I'm hoping that the chat actually works when I replay this later on. Over in the old chat box, let's see how everyone's doing. Yes, I remembered to take the mic off mute this time. I had it written down on my notes, and I was like, I had my little procedure of what I was going to click, and that was on it. So how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Bottle of rum. I do not have a bottle of rum with me, unfortunately. I have to tell you about something regarding that as well. Random, and I love it. Thank you very much. All right, so here last time I do have a shot glass of rum like I did last time. There it is. I'm gonna save that for a little bit. Right now I'm playing with my coffee for a little while. But so last time I had the rum out. I was like, oh, I gotta go get bourbon. And I should have known this. I don't know how I didn't know this. I posted about it on my Facebook page and Instagram. But apparently, all the liquor stores are closed here in Pennsylvania. And making matters a little worse, a little stranger, is that I don't know how many people know this stuff about Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is super weird. And liquor stores, all liquor stores, hard liquor stores and wine stores, not all wine stores, but all hard liquor stores, are owned by the state. They're state-run liquor stores. So there are no, like, you know, privately owned liquor stores. And they close them all down. because of the quarantine and everything, non-essential and all that. And the online site that they have for that, like, just for the most part crashed. They have this weird system where they're like randomly allowing people on to buy stuff, but it's like I've tried and it never lets me on. I can't even get to the site, and even if I did, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want to pay whatever ridiculous shipping fees that they're gonna want. So that's the deal in Pennsylvania right now regarding hard liquor. Grocery stores do have beer and things like that, but I mean, I don't really drink much, so it doesn't bother me. Like it broken, make it even more cooler. Oh, the pipe. Sorry, it took me a second to know what you were talking about, Mace. The little broken on the pipe makes it even cooler. It has a story now, you know. It's got a little bit of history to it. That's what I like about this. That's the only reason I kept it, to be honest. It's not like I smoke pipes. I don't know. Speaking of smoking, uh, I swear to you, I did not plan a 420 broadcast. Someone pointed out to me that my thumbnail, the thumbnail picture for, oh, look at that. I just noticed on the, oh my god. There you go, Tony. You can do it. The chat thing kind of is working. One person's chat just popped up for some reason. I bet it's a settings issue that I have to play with. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, right, the 420 thing. Someone pointed out that the thumbnail for this video looked like I knew exactly what I was doing. Oh yeah, look, there's Todd. Todd's chat. Oh my god. The chat box is working, sort of. That's awesome. Anyway, I didn't know what I was doing. It was only because the last time I was talking about the pipe, and I was like, oh, that's cool, I found it. Let me do a stupid thumbnail with the pipe in it. And then the background looks all psychedelic, totally by accident, has nothing to do with 420. You believe me, right? Thank you for believing me. Yeah, so Todd's here. Hi, Todd. Thanks for dropping in. Living Dead Girl, 1988. Got some liquor stores in California. That's pretty cool. I mean, I would like a new bottle of bourbon, if I'm being honest, but it's not something that I'm gonna like get all torn up about that I, can't get my hands on it. I'll deal. I've got my other addictions like meat and cheese filled dough. That's probably more addictive for me right now than any liquor. It's just dough with meats and cheeses inside, and sometimes vegetables. I'll take it. Pretty much anything stuffed inside dough and then baked. I was talking to Todd about that last night. It's good stuff, man. It's like every meal that I make, whenever I have leftovers, I take those leftovers, and I'm like, leftovers, meat, dough. Dough, meat, leftovers. Bake it. It's delicious. In fact, why don't we do this? Well, let me get off this for a second, and I will go screen share. And I will show you a calzones. See? Cheese-filled dough. And then I will show you, let's see. I'll show you these guys. These are homemade Hot Pockets with ham and cheese inside. And you can see that I don't even try. I don't even try to make them look pretty. I don't care if they look pretty. Did they taste good? Yes, they taste very good. What else we got here? These are not filled with anything, but they are hot cross buns that I did for Easter. All right, I'll show you these other pictures later on, but that was, since we were talking about food for a second, I thought I'd show you. Uh-oh, the chat is getting out of hand. I better attend to this. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. I'm not sure who that is, like, in the real world, what your real name is, so I'm just gonna call you, yeah, I'm sure. But, I don't know about yard sales this year. I'm hoping they're not impacted either, but the truth of the matter is they probably are going to be, and that is a crying shame. Breathe, Tony. Breathe. Wait, now I need a little rum because that is it's a scary thought. No yard sales and flea markets? But the word of the day, people, is perspective. That's I'm writing it down, I'm posting it on my, I say post, everything's like internet related these days. I'm plastering it, pasting it to walls, and putting it on pieces of paper and just hiding the pieces of paper in my underwear drawer and in my bottles of liquor. So I pull the, what's this piece of paper? Oh, perspective. Oh, yeah. Remember to have some freaking perspective, Tony. Because let's be honest. Come on, people. You know, not to get all down right at the beginning of this thing, but people are losing their lives right now. So for me to sit here and complain about yard sales or like flour not being in the store or any of that stuff is like not even, I can't even touch that. You know, perspective. We are, certainly we all have these little things that are bothering us right now. And of course, it's impactful and it's changing our worlds. It's changing our lives. It's making us, live completely differently than we did before. And it's stressful and there's a lot of panic and anxiety. And many of us are dealing with all kinds of related instances of these things. But I just keep perspective, right? Because so what? I can't find some flour. So what? I can't go to a few yard sales this year, maybe. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm sure the yard sales are probably. It all depends. I don't know what's going to happen this summer. I don't know if things are going to ease up or if it's just going to kind of be like this now for a while. It is scary. Let's see, 400 bucks. Les bought $400 worth of booze yesterday, and hopefully that'll last him the week. That's a lot of booze. That's a lot of money for booze. I'm very cheap. I am incredibly cheap. When I go to the liquor store, I pick up like the $30 bottle of mid-range whatever. I'm like, and then I buy the $15 bottle. I can't do it. I'm not a connoisseur enough with liquor to. I imagine I would maybe notice a difference, but maybe not enough for me to like really care. Maybe a $30 bottle. Definitely not like a $50 or up. Those are way out of my range of like, I can't do it, man. Living Dead Girl is offering to send me booze, which makes me so happy. But it is, at least on a live chat, what I'm going to say is, that's illegal in Pennsylvania. We can't do that here. So for live chat, I'll say that because laws. What else we got here? Hey, Thrift Trader, how you doing? What's up? Hoping this clears up soon. We could see more flea markets. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Of course, I'm hoping that things ease up. I haven't even seen my brother really. Usually on Fridays I go hang out with my brother. We watch horror movies and things like that. Make some good food. But this, of course, we're being proactive with the social distancing and quarantine. Even though we all feel okay, we're keeping our distance. I did go over to his place yesterday and we walked the dog together. My parents went, his wife, my sister-in-law, and we stayed like on opposite sides of the road while we walked and kind of just spoke that way and kept our distance and whatnot. But it was good to see him. It was, it's been a month, I guess, since I really hung out with him. Yeah, 90s nostalgia, also saying about the flea markets and yard sales. My guess is that even if things are like starting to get a little better, people are probably still going to be a little like hesitant to open up their yards and want to stand around and take money from other people and all that kind of stuff. Because of the contamination possible on the money, I imagine things are probably not going to be normal this year. In fact, I just saw we have a local drive-in over here. We're very, very lucky in that, I don't know if Todd's still hanging out in here, but my friend Todd Kiesling, we and my brother and his wife and my brother's wife, we all go to this drive-in, the Mahoning Drive-In. It's about 45 minutes away from here, and they every weekend during in the spring into the fall, they do just amazing triple features, double features, triple features. They do it the whole weekend usually, and it's incredible. Retro, mostly horror, a lot of horror, all kinds of things. They did the Evil Dead trilogy. They do the zombie marathon every year. Uh, they do Camp Blood every year, which is incredible. It's all like, it used to be all Friday the 13th movies, but now they do like any slashers they can fit in there. Mahoning, yeah. So Todd did the sad face just now because I'm sure he saw as well. They recently posted a picture saying that they're on extended intermission for now because of what's going on, of course. And it's sad, I mean, a drive-in is one of those places that you probably could get away with going out to if you stay in your car, but then they have the concession area, and there's the possibilities, and the bathroom situation would probably be a little iffy. So it's a shame. It really is a shame. But we have to do our part. We have to make sure that we don't want this to go on longer than it has to, and we want people to be safe and be able to recover and flatten the curve and all that. Back to the chat. I'm pretty sure, by the way, I was looking at the YouTube video page, so I'm positive now that there is a delay. So I don't know. I'm answering your chat messages. Maybe it seems like I'm waiting a really long time, but it's probably just because there's delay. Pizza bread is amazing. Yes, it is. I love any kind of. I made pizza last night. Actually, I didn't take any pictures of it because I was telling Todd this too. Todd and I chatted last night that it was the best pizza I ever made, and it was so good that before I even thought to take a picture of it, it was gone, and only the memory remained and the lingering taste on my tongue. It was a very good pizza. Not to rub it in or anything. Thank you, Les, Mace, Sean Tracy. Hey, Sean, how you doing? Hot Pockets and VHS tapes, great night. Yeah, I haven't been doing a lot of retro nights because I don't know. There's this weird you would think at this point in the quarantine and all that I would be taking advantage. Maybe same for you guys. I don't know if you guys start taking advantage of having the time and being at home and be like, yeah, fucking retro night. Get the VHS tapes or the movies I've been wanting to watch, some 80s stuff, some 90s stuff, maybe just horror in general. Get some good food together, make a whole night of it. But I don't know if it's like the undercurrent of dulled dread that is running through my veins on a daily basis, or if it is like the excess work that I have to do for my online classes, for the teaching of the online classes. I don't know what it is, but every night, all of a sudden, it's midnight. I haven't really done much, in the way of marathoning or that kind of stuff. I really have to set some time aside for that. But I want to ask. Okay, so I have a couple of segments prepared. I didn't really talk about this yet. We're 20 minutes in. I did the whole intro thing. If you guys missed the intro, you could watch it later. Maybe on the recording, I put all kinds of special stuff at the beginning of the video. And then I have actually a couple of little segments that I want to run throughout this. I was planning on going for about an hour. I figure, I don't want to bore the crap out of everyone, so I'll keep an eye on the concurrent viewers. How many people are watching me right now? I'll keep an eye on that. If it seems like people are dropping off at some point, maybe I've talked too long. But for our first segment, here we go. Ask me almost anything. All right, so this is a pretty common sort of live chat thing that people do. And you guys have been asking questions anyway, and I've been sort of answering them. But why not? Let's make it official, shall we? I am going to answer questions for you, but not any question. So this is not an ask me anything. It's an ask me almost anything because there are questions that I will not answer. Todd said, "Oh God." I don't. He's very critical, Todd. You know what? Since Todd is being so critical, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pause the Ask Me Almost Anything segment so I can make him feel bad about himself. Here we go. I'm gonna do screen share, and I'm gonna say, "Hey, look at this. My good friend Todd Kiesling wrote a chapbook called Scan Lines, which is freaking amazing, and there are signed copies still available. He just opened a new bookshop on his website, his webpage, and I will ask Todd to share that link with you guys in the chat because I don't have it off the top of my head right now, and that's probably the best way to go. So don't you feel bad for criticizing me, Todd? Don't you feel just awful? No, you don't, do you? Damn it, Todd. Alright, we're back. There we go. How's that for a nice little commercial break? He did. He paid me to say that. Checks in the mail, right? He literally paid me today. I mean, they were royalties, but he was holding those back. He was holding back my royalties until I plugged his chat book and his other work. So, there you go. Oh God, rum. Yes, I did. I sang lullabies to Todd last night. He was slumbering shirtless in his bed as we FaceTimed. All right, let me see. Are there any questions? Oh, Star Wars Nerd asks me my favorite vacation spot. My favorite vacation spot. So what you're doing right now, unwittingly, you're not doing it on purpose, Star Wars Nerd, but what you just did was you were uncovering my reclusive nature because you're forcing me to admit that I don't vacation or go anywhere or have any sort of favorite vacation spot because money and time and lack of fortitude and just distaste for travel, all of it. My favorite vacation spot is my house. Um, I when I have time off, I'm like, oh, nice, I could stay home, which is another reason why this whole quarantine thing isn't really affecting the old brain too much. Well, I mean, it's already like Swiss cheese, but now it's, it's like another day. So I will say I did go to Jamaica once. It was paid for. My brother got married there, and it was beautiful. It was really nice. I enjoyed myself. It was kind of hot. The travel sucked. I said to myself, like, as beautiful as it was there, was it worth the planes and the buses and the hours of travel? I'm like, nah, not really. Not for me. I understand people love to travel. I go on I sorry, I go on dating sites every once in a while, and every single one is like, I love to travel. I love traveling. I'm like, oh, no, this is why I'm single. Mr. Meat Hook, how you doing? What's up? I'm okay. Cindy Urban, are your parents writers or do they teach? None of the above. No. Neither of them are writers. Neither of them teach. Although teachers do seem to run in my extended family. My cousin, one of my cousins, and his wife both teach. That same cousin's father teaches. I think there's some other people in the family that teach. So it kind of sort of weirdly runs in the family. But I mean, I never expected to be a teacher. It wasn't something I really looked to do, to be honest. I wanted to be a writer, and then I kind of like in my head was like, yeah, well, you're never gonna be like, you'll probably never make a living off of that. So I decided to go back to college for English to teach. And I actually went to my degree is in secondary education, which is to teach middle school or high school. And then I didn't get a job doing for that, and then I ended up scoring this adjunct position at a community college, and I liked it a lot more than I did teaching in middle schools. So I just stuck with that and kind of do my sculpting and writing on the side for the sort of make it a thing. Um, Mm, 90s nostalgia. How do you typically deal with writer's block? Um, all right, so like the part of me that wants to balk at the idea of any sort of, outward or even inward blockage to writing just wants to say like it's not a real thing. Writer's block doesn't actually exist. It's a state of mind that you as a person should be able to, figure out what ways are best to get you out of that. Um, and I teach my students too when it comes to writing that, there's this thing called free writing. Um, FREE, free writing, that essentially asks you to sit down and start writing anything. It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter how bad it is, it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. Don't stop. No matter what, do not stop writing. Just start and continue for a set amount of time, and whatever comes out, comes out. And that's supposed to be like the proof that there's no such thing as writer's block, because if you could sit down and write, it doesn't matter what it is, you're writing. So there's no block. I know writer's block generally is suggestive more of like the imaginative end of the spectrum, not like the mechanics of like, oh, you can't sit down and write physically, but it like you don't have anything to write about creatively. And again, I would suggest that it's more or less a state of mind. Like if you just start writing, things come out, stuff happens. That's like the optimistic side of my argument. The not so optimistic side is, of course, the more realistic side that forces me to admit I haven't written anything in months. Is it because I'm blocked? No, it's more like procrastination and laziness and other work that has to be done, and wanting to be able to relax sometimes and just play a video game or just watch a movie and not have to deal with anything. Um, so I know I'm not really answering the question of how I deal with writer's block. Generally, it's just for me, it's just a matter of like getting my ass in a chair and doing the work. Once I've gotten past that, once I've gotten past the uh, laziness factor and kind of just start working, I usually can just keep going. So that's the hard part for me, is just getting the ass in the chair and starting the work. The other stuff kind of just comes along with the territory. Um, Mace asked, at what age did you start collecting Halloween decorations and other items? Because you have some cool ones. Thank you. Believe it or not, I actually came to collecting pretty late in my life. Even though I've kind of been like I've always been a horror fan. I just didn't know I was a horror fan. You know what I'm saying? Like as a kid, and I've shared this picture on Instagram. You can follow me there if you want. I have put a lot of different kinds of pictures there. Duh. Um, but yeah, I've shared this picture before. Like it's just a picture of over a dozen children's books. They're mine. They're actually mine from when I was a kid, and they're all Halloween or monster or horror children's books, like The Monster Under My Bed and Tilly Witch, stuff like that. So like I didn't identify as a horror fan when I was 8 years old, but I was reading that stuff, and I always loved Halloween, and I always kind of watched these horror movies growing up, but I never like thought to myself like, oh, I'm a horror fan. I just didn't self-identify that way. Um, Even through middle school, high school, college, I did not identify as a horror fan. People would look at me and identify me as things. They'd see long hair and be like, "Oh, he's a hippie," or "Oh, he listens to Grateful Dead and Fish." Even though I also listened to Tool and the Ramones and whatever, they would see they want to put you in boxes, people. So there was always these boxes that people would try to stick in. I'm like, eh. And because of that, I was always really hard on myself in terms of identity. I would never want to say, yes, I am this. You know, I would always be like, no, I like a lot of stuff. Stop trying to label me. So it really wasn't until I was dating this woman named Kat, and she was a huge horror fan, and probably one of the reasons that we connected. And she brought me to Chiller Theater over in New Jersey, the horror convention, and that was the first horror convention I had ever been to, and I was like, holy crap! I was like, what? This is like everything I love. It's all here in one place. I met Jeffrey Combs that day. I didn't even get his autograph. I just like he was there, and there were no lines. It was insane. There was like no one there. We just walked up. He signed like every surface of Kat's DVD set that she brought in. We talked to him for like 10 minutes because no one was there. And he was a super nice guy. And it was really cool, but it didn't even occur to me to get an autograph because it wasn't like I wasn't in that place at the time. I was just, I was into the stuff, but I wasn't like I guess, a fan. I wasn't in the fandom part of it. So that was the point in my life where I kind of like started to identify as a horror fan. I was like, oh, I am this. Like most of what I do. I was already writing horror at that point. I was writing horror novels and stories for years at that point, and I still didn't even identify as a horror fan. All I read was horror. All I watched, and for some weird reason, it just never occurred to me. It was the weirdest thing. So yeah, Kat kind of like opened my eyes to that part of my life, and then even then though I wasn't like outwardly buying a lot of stuff to collect. It wasn't really until even years after that when I started going to yard sales and finding stuff cheap. That's when it really kicked off. So my brother and I started doing the yard sale thing, and retro video games. I started seeing like Super Nintendos and Nintendo cartridges. I'm like, oh shit, that's $2, man. That game is what? They're selling that whole system for $5. Grab it, go get it. And I started buying this stuff because it was super cheap, and then I would see the vintage Halloween stuff that just spoke to the soul of me, and I was like, yes, give me this. In recent years, I've been trying to pare down the collections. I've been selling a lot of stuff. In fact, that pile of stuff right there, that's all stuff that I need to sell and get rid of. I'm putting it there for like eBay sales or giving away or whatever. I've just been collecting it there until I have time to do something with it. But so that's a really long answer, but that's kind of like the the journey. Partly, I didn't go through every little aspect of that. Sorry, I've been ignoring the chat. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, Todd is asking what my new book is about. You bastard. I wrote a book last year, a novel. It's, I guess, technically just the second, no, it's like the third or fourth, but it's the second one that I think can actually get published. The second novel I've written, it doesn't really have a title yet. I've been calling it The Precipice of Nowhere, which I really don't like. It had another name that people told me sounded like something, and I said, oh, let me not call it that. So I didn't call it that anymore. What is it about? I can't really answer that question. I'm sorry. It's not something I've thought about in 4 or 5 months, and also not something I created a summary for or synopsis for yet. So it's really hard for me to give you like a concise, inside book jacket cover sort of synopsis of what the novel's about. It's horror. And that's it. I'm not gonna say anything else. What a tease. I have to edit it still. I haven't even like submitted it anywhere. It's not like it's coming out anytime soon. So there's still work to be done on it, but hopefully I'm gonna be doing that soon. Speaking of projects, I did start working on a new sculpture. Let me show you how it's going. Here, let's take a look at the old screen share again, and I'll show you how my sculpture is going. That way. That's my sculpture. I didn't do anything yet. It's just clay. But I sat down and I took the clay and I worked it into sheets so that I can use it. And that's something, you guys. That is something. So I have done something at least. That is going to be, I don't know, Todd, am I allowed to talk about this? I don't know if I should say what it's going to be. So I'm going to have to wait for Todd, if he's still here, to say if I can announce that, or if maybe I should wait anyway since it's just a lump of clay right now. All right. Favorite comfortable movies to have on in the background while doing other things. That question comes from Sean Tracy. And my answer to that question is maybe going to surprise some people because they're not all of the answers are horror. But one of my favorite background movies is Burying the X with Anton Yelkin. And am I saying his last name right? I always mess up his last name. Um, and Daddario, what's her first name? Something Daddario. Um, Directed by Joe Dante. It was universally panned, the movie. Like, a lot of people say they don't like it and that it's an awful movie. Um, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's a masterpiece or anything, but um, it is one of my like comfort movies that I'll put on, and I've seen it so many times that I can just put it on in the background. Uh, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Wait, no, I forget the name of that movie for some reason. But that movie um, is another one that I'll throw on in the background a lot. And what else? You know what I like putting on actually is Pluto TV. There's an Addams Family channel, and I'll put on the original Addams Family episodes. I'll let those play. That's a nice comfort one for me. Um, there are others, but those are kind of like at least the recent ones that I've been putting on a lot. All right, let's see. I'm falling behind questions here. We should be able to. Hey Stephen, how you doing? Uh, we should be able to buy memories instead of actually doing stuff. That would be fun. I feel like we wouldn't know anyway, so what would it matter, right? Thrift Raider, I was about to go to Japan before quarantine hit. That blows. Like, for anyone who was planning a big trip, I know a couple people who were in that boat who had to postpone it. That's awful. Um, Letizia, how you doing? Steven, writer's block equals lack of passion for it. That can be a truthful comment there. That has happened before where I was working on a story and then I just couldn't keep going, and it was absolutely lack of passion rather than creative failings. I was like, and then you got to know when to put stuff away. I mean, some people say like just finish it anyway for the practice, for the writing. It's good advice, I guess, but I'm in the camp of if it's not working, get rid of it, work on something else. That's how I do it. Um, Living Dead Girl, do you write on your phone, computer, or notebook? I use my computer for all first drafts. I've actually been using a new program well, it's not a new program, but it's new to me, and it is whatchamacallit, Scrivener. Scrivener, very cool. It is helping me organize a little better than I ever did before. It is even encouraging me to do some pre-writing for my novels and stories, which I've never done before. Maybe I'll try to open up the program so you could see it if that interests anyone. There are a lot of writing questions, so maybe I will do that. But let me open it like that. I'll jump into that in a second. But yeah, I never write on my phone. I did use my phone to take audio notes when I take walks around the block sometimes, and I'll take my audio notes on the phone and I'll kind of just say stuff into the phone if I think I came up with a good idea. My mind wanders when I walk, so I'm like, ooh, good idea, and then I never get to them, but they're there if I ever want them. Mace was asking if I like The Walking Dead. I do. We were just talking about this last night. Actually, I watched a lot of it, and then I haven't seen it in a while. It's been 4 or 5 seasons since I watched it, but I enjoyed it, and I actually have the big hardcover volumes of the comics, up to volume 11. I've only read like 2 volumes so far, but I do have them there for when I'm ready for it. Let's see. I'm catching up here. I'm sorry. I'm going a little quicker so I could catch up with all the questions. Horror books were my favorite youth fiction books. Thrift Raider said, yeah, they were always the most fascinating to me. Anything like, if you're going to read fiction, I want it to be like, a fantastic fiction, not just, not real. I want it to really be like speculative in nature. 90stalgia, completely agree. Motivating myself to do it often is the biggest struggle. Once I'm in it, the creativity seems to develop as I'm writing. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of times that's all it's about, is like just getting your head straight, getting just sit down and do it. And once you're in it, it's so much easier. It's just getting into the routine of it, That's where I struggle. So when I first start writing, so like when I started writing the novel last year, the first week was like to get up and do the work was very hard. But once I was doing it, man, I was banging that shit out. I was like, yes, yes, yes. It took me 3-4 months to write a 120,000 word novel, and it just it flows once you get going. Same with sculpting. I just need to sit down and do it, and once I'm going, it's good, much better. May said, would love to read your books. Where can I buy one or more? Oh, thank you. Well, let's see. I'll do a little bit of promotion here. I don't plan that stuff, but basically, if you go to, I don't have links like available at the moment, but if you go to Amazon, you can find Soundtrack to the End of the World on audiobook. So that just came out like as an audiobook recently. So Soundtrack to the End of the World. That is the first novel I ever wrote, and there's an audiobook of it. And then Greetings from Moon Hill is on Amazon as a paperback and an ebook. And it's just a matter of searching Amazon for my name. So like if I go to screen share here, and you just do a quick Anthony J. Rapino search, you'll see the first thing that pops up is Greetings from Moon Hill. Look at those ratings. My God, look at those ratings. Hey. That is a short story collection that was put out through Precipice Books with the help of Todd Kiesling, who's in the chat right now, who also is a writer and has many great books that you should check out. In fact, his name is probably attached to this somewhere. Yeah, see, his name's right there, and if you click that, it'll bring you to his stuff. Arterial Bloom just came out recently. That's a collection. Devil's Creek. Is that available already? Did I miss that somehow? No, that's a pre-order. Okay. That's coming out, man. Speaking of which, okay, so I guess I might as well say it now, and he said it's okay to say it. The sculpture I'm working on connects to Devil's Creek, Todd Kiesling's book. This novel is amazing. It's already getting universal praise. Honestly, you're going to want to buy this book. And then you'll see the sculpture is directly tied to the mythology of the book. And we'll be selling that in my shop around the time, maybe a little after the release of the book. So I'll keep you guys updated with my sculptures on that. Going back really quick, right underneath Greetings from Moon Hill is the audiobook of Soundtrack to the End of the World. Those are kind of like the two main big things that you could get. This is a novel. This is a collection of short stories. It has a novella in it too, so, boom, there you go. A little bit of self-promotion. Thank you for the opportunity to do that. Todd jokingly said, if people know about it, it'll mean they actually have to finish the book to know what the sculpture means. But once you start reading his book, you're going to finish it. So there you go. There's a couple more questions here, but we're about 46 minutes in, and surprisingly holding on to the viewer count. So what I'm going to do is a quick intermission. I got a couple little videos here. Some of you, if you follow my channel, you may have seen this stuff. But it's just a fun little step away from my face for a second, and then we will be right back. All right? Today's episode of Retrographic Horror is brought to you by sad ladies staring out at the ocean. Has life got you down? Is every new moment like a searing hot needle stabbed deep into your anus? Does nothing even matter, so why bother trying? Then you're not watching enough retrographic horror. Don't make the doggy cry. Retrographic horror. All right, I'm back. Hope you guys enjoyed those couple little silly things there. Those were both for a little show that I did a couple of times on this channel called Retrographic Horror. And it was a lot of fun, but it was also a lot of work to do. And it wasn't getting a whole lot of views as compared to my other videos that took no work at all. So I stopped doing them after the second episode. But they are available on the channel if you guys never watched them. They're a lot of fun. Very silly. I brought in a bunch of other YouTubers who are into horror to answer questions and talk about their own horror memories and VHS memories and things like that. So yeah, Retrographic Horror. It said coming soon, but they've been out for like over a year at this point. I just figured I would throw those in there for the fun of it. Hope you enjoyed. Todd is judging me again. Todd with the oh my god. Bongos and lemon heads. Ooh, lemon heads. I haven't had those in a while. That used to be for. This is a really strange fact, but I would go to when I lived in Brooklyn as a child, when I would go to the ice cream truck would come by. I would more often than not buy a tiny box of lemon heads for 25 cents instead of ice cream. Yeah. That's weird, isn't it? All right, so there were a couple more questions, and then we'll go up to the next segment. Here's another segment. I prepared for this. I know, it's surprising, isn't it? I'm almost done with my rum, by the way. This is the last little sip. So good. All right. I have an admission about that too, about the rum. It's embarrassing, which you'll love, so I'll tell you about it in a second. Questions that I missed. Let me see here. You have gorgeous long black hair. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, and I am staying safe. I'm pretty much not going out except when I absolutely have to. So you know, that's what everyone should be doing, frankly. Unless you have to go out to work, in which case, thank you so much for being on the front lines of this thing. It really is. People should be thanking you every day that this is going on. Favorite Stephen King novel from Charlie. Charlie Lux Productions asks, favorite Stephen King novel. That is a very hard question for me. In general, I'm not really good at answering favorites questions because I don't have the backbone to like pick one thing and stick with it. I'm constantly changing my likes and dislikes, and in fact, I probably would have to like look at my shelf back there. You guys can't see it, but I'd have to like look through the books to really remember. You know, strangely, I know it's not technically a Stephen King novel. I mean, he wrote it, but it's under the Bachman name, if I remember correctly. Blaze. I remember really enjoying the novel Blaze. It's been a very long time since I read it, and it's certainly not going to make it probably anyone's top 10, and yet I'm saying, you know, I really enjoyed the hell out of it. I recently read Revival, which, though a slow burn and kind of meandering a little bit, and also you start questioning where it's going, it has a pretty awesome payoff, and I don't want to say much about it and ruin it for you, but I ended up really enjoying that one. Probably one of the ones I've enjoyed the most of his in recent memory. Joyland, I know Joyland isn't like a horror necessarily. It's like kind of horror, but I enjoyed that quite a bit. The Stand, of course, is right now relevant, I guess, and one of my favorites. Yeah. That's a good list. You asked for one, I gave you 5 or 4 or something. A lot of exclaiming. Luna. I'm being asked about Luna, so I'll go back to screen share very briefly to show you where Luna is. I don't know if you guys noticed in the pictures earlier, but I did laundry, as one does, and I was trying to fold said laundry and put it away, and then this happened. That's Luna, snuggled up underneath all of my warm, clean laundry, getting her white fur all over my mainly black shirts, and that's just what she does. So where is Luna? Well, she's slumbering peacefully under my laundry. Alrighty. Um, book sculpture crossover event of the century, Sean says. I mean, I appreciate that, and I'm sure Todd does as well, because this book has been a long time coming for him, and it means a lot to him, and it means a lot to me to have been able to read it already. It's really great. I mean, I'm not even gonna say it. You'll see. You buy it and you'll see. Um, Anna Rainbow, how you doing? Do you have any advice for beginner writers? Also, that first intermission made me spit my tea on my phone. How do you even come up with this stuff? Uh, I mean, I don't know. I'm a weird person. Todd will agree to that as well, I'm sure. He knows me in real life, and yeah. By the way, you're getting for free what my students have to pay for. They pay for those classes, and they won't even come. They don't even come to the live sessions, and they're paying for them. You come here for free. Thank you. Okay, advice for beginner writers. Oof. Yeah, I'm not good at advice. I'm awful at advice. I guess I would say, just keep writing. Um, Practice as much as you can. Start submitting sooner than you think you should, because getting those rejection letters are part of the process, and they make you feel like a real writer, even though they're rejections. Getting those is I don't know, is really important. Um, and actually, above all that, find yourself a critique group. Find other writers, preferably ones who are better than you. You don't really want to be in a group of writers that are all beginners necessarily, because then you're not getting a whole lot of help in that situation. But if you could find a group of writers, or even one other writer who's just like, maybe had some stuff published, get in a critique group with them where you trade work, and you do beta reads on each other's work. You don't please do not ask an established writer to edit stuff for you. But if you find some, like, a group that is doing, you know, uh, reading each other's work, and that's what the group is for, then, definitely get in a critique group, because that is invaluable. The stuff you'll learn in there is like, just, it'll put you over the top. So keep writing, submit, and get yourself a critique group. Those are my pieces of advice. Todd, if you want to throw anything in the chat, you're better at that kind of stuff than I am. Sorry, Todd should just be here. I should have learned how to put a second screen, because I have no idea how to do that, and I should have just invited Todd on here, because at this point, half of it, I'm just like, Todd, help me. Super cool videos from Bongos and Lemonheads. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Eric is shocked. I'm not entirely sure what he's shocked about, but he's shocked. Mace, I have long brown hair. I think all guys should grow their hair out. Yeah, right? It's not so bad. It takes a while to wash, but what are you going to do? The Jaunt. Thrift Raider said favorite King story is The Jaunt, and the second is The Mist. I haven't read either of those. I'm gonna look up The Jaunt. I'm of course aware of The Mist, but I, for some reason, never read it. Probably because I saw the movie first, and sometimes after I see a movie, I feel like I don't want to read the book anymore for whatever reason. The opposite is true. If I read something, I always want to see the movie, but if I see the movie, I very rarely want to read the book. I don't know why. The Jaunt is excellent, Todd said. All right, cool. I'm definitely going to look that one up then. Luna, yeah. Whatever you do, don't look behind you. See, here's the thing, though, is I could see behind me. Unless it's a vampire, in which case they're probably not being... You can't then see it on the video, right? So... I'm okay. I'm alright. Hey, Kia, how you doing? Steven, no, I don't want to be an editor. I edit my students' papers, and that gives me enough of a headache. I barely want to edit my own work. I am not particularly good at it either. Maybe on developmental editing, I'm alright, but when it comes to proofreading and line editing, I'm god-awful. I've been writing for, over a decade, I guess, and, writers make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. I need an editor. I'm not an editor myself. Um, Anarimbo Luna, yeah, she's a very cute little cat. I actually just saw her mom or sister the other day. We rescued her from around my brother's neighborhood. He has a lot of ferals over there, and Luna had a really bad eye infections, and actually one of her eyes we had to have taken out, and the other one is mostly blind, which is why we took her out. Took her off the street because she was going to die. In fact, the vets even said, "Oh, let her. We should put her down." And I was like, "No." And I did a GoFundMe to help me with the funds to get the surgeries because they're super expensive. But we saved her, and she's happy and crazy. But yeah, I saw another a white cat near my brother's house yesterday, which either was a sister or a mother because it's pregnant again. So. But yeah, he has a huge feral population over near his house. I wish professors were this funny. Thank you for your advice. Oh, you're welcome, and thank you very much. Creating cool, crazy worlds, run around, and thanks for sharing. Thank you for reading. Thank you for checking out the work, because if you didn't, I might lose. Well, no, I would keep writing anyway, but I appreciate it. Todd said, for Anna, I covered the basics. Keep writing. Find a good critique group. Don't be afraid of criticism. Yeah, that is very important. Do not be afraid of criticism. Invite criticism. Invite it. Because the only way you can grow is to identify your weaknesses. Period. You do not grow otherwise. If someone doesn't sit you down and say, this doesn't work, this is what you should do, if no one ever tells you that, you'll never know and you'll never grow. So yeah, it's one of the most important things you can do as not even just writers, just as a person, as a cognitive, analytic, critical thinking human being. You should always invite criticism, constructive criticism, people, constructive, but always invite that and look for ways to better yourself. Look for ways to grow. I mean, otherwise, what are we doing here? Seriously. Drinking coffee, watching this awesomeness. Yay! I have my coffee that's probably cold now because I was paying a little bit too much attention to my rum. But hey, how are you faring? Oh, Kia, you didn't really miss Luna. I just showed this picture here of Luna snuggled up in my clean laundry. She basically was blocking my my ability to put my laundry away because I felt like I could never disturb her. So if she was happy and warm, I left her. I left her in there. I did not create a graphic for the next segment, so please forgive me. But the next segment is, I don't know if you watched the last video. I had a lot of fun digging through my drawer. I can't say that word. I say draw. And then people go, it's not a draw. It's a drawer. 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 I have a thing, like a dresser here, and it's filled with craziness. And I thought, hey, that'd be fun to go back in there. Last week we found, if you see the intro to this video, we found all kinds of weird stuff. So I thought I would dig out some stuff again and see what we had. See, if there was a graphic here, imagine there was a graphic here. The drawer of mystery. What is he going to find? I don't know. Oh, God. All right, let's open it up. Oh, so we'll dig in a little bit. And, okay. I'm gonna attempt to pick out the most embarrassing items I can find for your entertainment. Oh man, we're a little over an hour here. I promised it was only going to be an hour, but let me see here. How are we doing on people? People still watching? People are still watching, so here we go. Embarrassing stuff in my drawer of mystery. This is really bad, actually. Ugh. Okay, you ready for this? Ugh, gives me the shivers. Oh. That is, I for a very brief time, before I went back to college, this was probably about, is there a date on there? Probably about 2002, 2003. I worked for the Walmart distribution center near me, which meant I stood at a conveyor belt and threw boxes, which was the worst experience of my life. I invite no one to do that ever. It was a very bad job. And that is my name tag from the job. And there I am with short hair and no beard and looking just sullen as all fucking hell. Look at how happy I am in that picture. Dear God. You're welcome. Oh my God. So yeah, that's the first item from the drawer of Mr. I'm gonna stop doing that. No, I'm not. All right, this next thing I pulled this out with the badge is not embarrassing at all, but hey, I have a Walkman just sitting in my, for some reason. I wonder if there are old corroded batteries in there. Oh God, there are. There are old corroded batteries in there. Nice. This is a Sharp Walkman. Look at that beauty. I really should throw things away sometimes. All right, back to... You want another embarrassing thing, don't you? Fuck. All right, I'll find something embarrassing. Oh, God. This one is even worse than the Walmart one. It's a certificate. It's a certificate that my parents gave me. It says, the mom and dad of the Rapinos certify to all that Anthony Rapino has fulfilled the requirements of becoming a man. I became a man, you guys. When did I become a man? Let's see. I became a man in... It's right there, the date. But I can't quite read it on the screen. July of 2000, I became a man. I have fulfilled the requirements of becoming a man and is hereby admitted the rights and privileges belonging to that training and achievement given under the training board seal. And how proud we are of you. Ooh. I'm a man. I don't think I lived up to that certificate. I think I did not live up to it at all. I'm not a man at all. Oh God. Oh. I don't know if I can get that. I'm not gonna. But I can't keep going that level of embarrassment. I peaked there. I don't know if I could keep taking stuff out of this drawer of mystery that would be that embarrassing. What do we got here? Let's see what people are saying about me. Guy Medley is asking about the Geeky Riders videos. Todd, he's asking about the Geeky Riders. Yeah, we talked about it recently. We all said we'd like to do it, and then no one planned one. But I would absolutely do it. I'm obviously doing stupid videos anyway, so might as well. I will talk to Todd and the others, Mercedes and Nikki and Amelia, and see what's happening. I'll maybe light a bit of a fire under their butts. Victoria, hello. Thanks for joining me. Let's see. I don't look happy in the picture. Yeah, in the Walmart. I was not happy at all. No, not at all. Why would the thrift raider? Kia said, why is that not framed? I just found it. I don't know. It's in my drawer of mystery. I will frame it now, though, for sure. And thrift raider said, why would my parents do such a thing? Because they love me and they're proud of me. Living Dead Girl, haha, the man certificate. I can't stop laughing. Yeah, that was okay. Couple more? I got a couple more things that I saw right at the top of this infamous drawer of mystery that I think might be of interest. Let's take a look. All right, so I think I posted a picture of this one before. You guys remember the bubblegum locker? It's a little, there's bubblegum in there. A little bubblegum. That's okay. Okay, cool, whatever. But look what's inside mine. Timeout tickets. And look at this. I even signed the back of one. I put my name and address and phone number and stuff on there. Not real anymore. Did I just give you guys my... No, that's old. That's old. I have lots of timeout tickets. I guess from playing a lot of skee ball. I used to play a lot of skee ball at the arcade. What's in here is actually only a portion. Don't ask me why I have these and why I didn't use them. I was probably saving up for some big prize that I never got to, and then they closed or something like that. Bubblegum locker, yeah. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, this is apropos. I mean, it is 420 and everything. You guys doing okay? 420? Yeah, pretty good. This is the fish update. The fish. I used to get the fish newsletter, the Jam Band fish. This is an old one from... I don't know when it's from. Fish news. I have more of these somewhere, but that one was right on the top. Sean Tracy said, bubblegum locker. Yes, I have somewhere as well. It's the kind of thing you save, right? I mean, you don't throw that away. You eat the gum and then you save the locker because you could put stuff in it. I'm all about putting stuff in lockers. What? Oh, I don't know. Mets. Let's go Mets. I'm not a huge sports fan, but when I was younger, I lived in Brooklyn and my dad took us to Shea Stadium and we'd go see games and stuff. I was in Little League, you know? I mean, stuff you do when you're a kid. So this is a little like the photo booth at Mets Stadium, at Shea Stadium. The superstar photos, where you get to stand next to a cardboard cutout. You ready for little Tony? There he is, little Tony. I'm noticing that my camera, my webcam sucks really bad. I'm gonna need a new webcam. You guys can't really see that too well. If I get too close, it gets blurry. It doesn't like to focus, apparently. With the fake, look at the fake signatures and everything. We take your picture seriously, Polaroid. Little Tony. By the way, if you were here for the retrographic horror promo that I played when I lay down on the couch and I have the little thought bubble, and there's little images in there. The little kid with the not Count Dracula. The Count. The Count from Sesame Street. That was me, and that was my mom with me in those images. That was actual old VHS tapes that I culled the video from. So if you recognize little Tony from that, bingo! I got a couple more things I could show you guys. What are we saying in the chat here? Do I have any dead related stuff? I do. Probably not in this drawer right here. But I have a bunch of old, like my dad's old records, T-shirts, hats. My dad used to own a I should have found this image. Maybe like a decade ago, my dad owned a tie-dye. I mean, we didn't have like a physical shop, but he made tie-dye shirts, and we would go to festivals and sell them. And I have pictures of us like selling tie-dye shirts at festivals and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. I went to a Grateful Dead concert when I was a kid at Madison Square Garden. So that was nice to, get to see Jerry and everything when I was younger. Kia asks, or maybe just says, whenever you do these types of things, it makes me want to dig through my random stuff, which I end up showing you on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun looking at old stuff. I try to do it at least once in a while, because why bother saving this stuff if you don't get to reminisce a little bit? And it's a lot of fun showing people, too. Gary Carter was your favorite player. Yeah, Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry. I rooted for them a lot. Living Dead Girl said, I thought that was you as the count. Yeah, it was me. It was little bowl cut Tony, as they called me. No one called me that. All right, what else we got? We're getting down to it, actually. All I have left are some old pictures. Well, I mean, I could keep digging through the drawer, I guess, but this is the stuff that I pulled out. Pogs. You guys remember Pogs? I have a tube of Pogs here. I'm not going to show all of them to you, but I got into Pogs for a little while. I think everyone did. Got a couple of slammers. Remember the slammers? The real heavy ones that you would like... Bah! Look at these guys. Oh my god. Oh, Spawn. Got a couple Spawn Pogs. How's that? These alleys belong to Spawn. Oh my god. Oh, weird. It's like a Mick Jagger thing. Jumpin' Jack Flash. Kind of making fun of him, I think, it looks like. Alright, well, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and show you every single Pog I own, but hey guys, Pogs. I got Pogs. These are worth nothing. They were never collectible. It was just a fad that people went through. There's nothing in it. God damn it. I've shown some of these pictures on various places. You're not going to be able to see them very well on this camera, unfortunately. There is me in the Little League. Little League Tony. I was awful. I was very afraid of fly balls in the outfield, where I was always put in the outfield. I was not good as a kid. I got better, but then I lost interest in sports, so. Oh, I'm jamming out, man. Look at me jam out. Look at that haircut. Yes. Fucking awesome, Tony. I'm bringing that back. I'm going to cut my hair. I'm going to go full bowl. What do you guys think about that? That's an old-ass Walkman. That's like... I got to be maybe 4 there. 5, maybe. This is just evidence that even if it wasn't Halloween, I didn't give a motherfucking... I didn't care. That's it. That's me and my brother wearing skeleton pajamas on Christmas with our neighbors. Those are our neighbors. Anthony and Vito. That's Mike, my brother. That's me over here. Steven asked why I'm trying to join the Ramones. Why aren't you trying to join the Ramones? Come on. Anna said, haven't seen Pogs in ages. Yeah, seriously. What did you miss? I don't know. I missed a lot, maybe, or nothing. You could check the recording later on. As a girl, I had the same one. Don't feel so bad. Oh, the hairdo. So I had a girl's haircut. I mean, I guess I still have a girl's haircut, kind of. I only like long hair because I could get a second mustache, which is so silky smooth. Look at my silky smooth mustache. I gotta remember this is live and I can't edit it out. Yeah, Sean said we all had that haircut. We did. That was the 80s. I mean, you know, pop the cereal bowl on the head, shave around, good to go. The old Mo. Living Dead Girl said I was a little cutie. Thank you. I don't know what the hell happened to me. The misfits, yeah. Diaper age with my parents. It's my dad and my mom. I'm really annoyed that this camera doesn't seem to want to focus better than it is. Let's see, maybe one more. Halloween. Yeah, come on. It's in my soul. In my soul. I live for this stuff. From a very young age. Oh, okay. This one will come with a little story. So I am not great with spinny rides, the rides that spin. I'm not very good at that. I have always kind of had like a little bit of a, I get nauseous very easily. I mean, I'm not scared necessarily of like high roller coasters and, you know, rides that spin around very fast, but I get super dizzy and I cannot deal with it. But I didn't know that until I tried. And this is a picture of me figuring that out. Yeah, I was not happy in that picture. I was like, I think I'm gonna barf. So yeah, I learned at a young age that the amusement park rides that spun around very fast were not for me. Unfortunately, I would love to go on these things, and in fact, even like I could deal with the old rickety wooden roller coasters that are just regular roller coasters, but the ones that are like zero gravity, fucking that will get me too a little bit kind of nauseous. Like my head will be all lightheaded and stuff. I tried when I was in college. I was like, I think I could do that. And I got off the roller coaster. I was like green for an hour. Cynthia, yeah, glad you made it. I'm getting pretty close to the end of these pictures that I want to show. I mean, there's others, but I'm not going to go through every single one of them. Oh God, but I do have to show this one because I thought I was so cool. I wrote an article about this picture, actually. I can't remember where I published it. I used to write little articles. That's actually where the name of, so I showed you guys the promo video for Retrographic Horror, the show that I did 2 episodes of. Retrographic Horror was a spin-off of an article series that I used to write of the same name. Actually, they were called Retrographic Evidence, so like photographic evidence, retrographic evidence. And I would take old photos and I'd write articles about them. And I definitely wrote one article about this because it was just, there's so much going on in this photo that I couldn't not talk about it for a while. I should try to find where that article is, so I could give you the the link. That is me feeling really cool, showing off a little handheld video game. I got the whole like Captain Morgan stance going, the crooked hat, little crooked hat. If you look in the background, you can see I'm displaying my Micro Machines collection, which I still have. I'll do a video for that one day. There's just a lot going on in that picture. I think you could spot, yeah, there's a video game down here, a Nintendo game that's open, and there's a gumball machine. Got my Red Ryder BB gun mounted on the wall up here. This is back in Brooklyn. Got a Zelda poster, just barely visible on the corner. But yeah, I wrote all about it because, I mean, come on. Oof. Ooh. Stagger, baby. Swagger, not stagger. Yeah, had some swagger as I can. I was like, ooh, come on, guys. Let me take a picture of this. Ooh. My God. Little Tony had a lot to learn about the world. A little comic book still in the wrapper. They used to give these out, and I believe these came in Devil Dogs, or like Drake's Cakes. The box of Drake's Cakes, and you would get a double-sided comic with it. Don't you miss that? I miss like the days of cereal prizes and little giveaways in boxes of stuff. All right, I've been neglecting the chat once again. Let me check it out here. Yeah, Cynthia, I'll try to find the articles. I'll link to those if I could remember where they're either on my webpage or I might have published them on this other like retro webpage thing. But I think a quick search should find it. Retrographic horror, because I mean, or evidence, because I mean, how many other people could have possibly used that phrasing? Pretty sure I made it up. I'm an innovator, baby. Ooh. Retrographic evidence. I'll put my last name in there for a little help. And there it is. Cool. we've got oh, that's an old one that the pictures are not working anymore. Let's see. Oh, this one's even better. I'm going to do a screen share, and I'll link to the articles as well. All right, screen share, go. This was on the Addicted to Horror Movies webpage. Retrographic evidence, horror in the 80s. That's my brother and me at the video store across the street from us in Brooklyn. At the video store, of course, the VHS tapes, but they had a couple of arcade games. One was a Street Fighter 2, of course, and the other one kind of rotated out at times. But I wrote an article about that photo, which is a lot of fun. And I am shooting out the link right now. There you go. And then let's see if I could find another one. What is this? No, that is not one of those. That's all that came up. Maybe if I get rid of my name and do that. What's this? Ah, here we go. There it is. Actually, I'll give you the link to this. This is on my webpage, and there are 3 retrographic evidence articles. One is called Zardion Lives, the other is Video Games Are Cool, and finally Introducing Retrographic Evidence, which I guess was the first one I ever wrote. So I'll just point you in that direction for anyone who is interested. Bingo. All right, cool. And we are, wait, let me just do this because I really, to transition back to the live screen because I really love this thing. Yeah, right? Come on. I put a lot of work into that. All right. All right, I think, oh, that's that picture. I'm done with the draw here. I figure we'll kind of wind it down. We're almost an hour and a half into this. We have kept a pretty good viewership, which I appreciate. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll take a couple more questions, talk a little bit more about pretty much anything you guys want to, but all of my prepared chat stuff is, well, that's not true. Actually, I didn't even touch, I had this list of things here, and I didn't even touch that. So I guess I could go into that if I really wanted to, or save it for next time. The mini comics, Sean Tracy said, had some He-Man ones as well. Yeah, I actually have a whole stack of them somewhere else. That was just like a random one that happened to be in the drawer next to my computer. But yeah, we used to, my dad loves Drake's Cake, so we used to get a bunch of those. Stephen Mulaney, Westwood said, love photos like that. Yeah, I mean, I love finding that old stuff and kind of remembering how I felt back then. Linked to the articles, yeah. Oh, Kia, thank you. Yeah, I used that previously in other videos, and I figured I'd bring it into the live stream because it makes it feel a little bit more professional. It's just not as haphazard. Let's see. All right, I'm going to ask you guys a question. How about that? I'm going to get you a little bit more interaction on your end. And then once we go through that, I think I'm going to call it for the day. Oh, am I planning on doing a Halloween bucket list this year? Oh, cool. Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I don't think I really did it last year, but a couple of years ago, I created a a calendar. I'll see if I could find it really quick to show everyone what I'm talking about. Should be fairly accessible if I put stuff in the right places on my computer. But essentially, I used to create this calendar for pretty much like not only October. I would sometimes do September and October. I think I found one. Maybe not. All right, so this is dead air now, so I'm gonna stop looking for stuff. But yeah, I used to create a calendar that would, like, for every day of the month would give you something to do for October, something to do for September that had something to do with Halloween, obviously. So watch a certain kind of movie, or do a full moon party, or go out to a pumpkin patch, or go to a haunted house, or have a marathon or whatever. I did not do it last year. I may have shared the same one from the previous year. Um, Will I do one this year? Sure. I would like to. I probably will have more time on my hands if things continue the way they have been going. Um, but it is a lot of fun, and it kind of keeps me interactive for the year as well. Like you know, I could lose track sometimes of the spirit of the holiday. I don't know if you guys feel that way for Halloween. Like I live Halloween, and then sometimes October comes and I feel like lost. I feel like there's so much I should be doing that I'm not doing, and because there are so many things I'm not doing, I start feeling bad about it instead of just enjoying the season. So instead of just being in it and enjoying it, I start like feeling regret and feeling stress that I'm not doing all the things I should be doing, and I'm not going out to all the events that I should be going out to. And it's a really weird way to feel during your favorite time of year, which I hate. So I find that the calendar kind of makes me feel a little better about things, because I could look at it and be like, oh, I could do this or I could do that. It keeps me on track a little bit. But also, like, you know, strangely, I don't feel like I have to do this stuff. And I have to remind myself that it's okay if you're not, making use of every single hour of every single day. We have jobs and we have things that we have to do other than go to haunted houses and things. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun to do those. I would definitely like to again. I couldn't find I couldn't find it for some reason. Maybe it's in here. Gotta open it up. Oh well. What else we got here? Oh, did Luna pass by? I didn't even notice. Yeah, she's always in and out. Um, the Gore Father's Wicked and Weird Horror Show. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing fine. Great idea for life. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying. Um, Kia said she feels that way too. Yeah, it sucks, like feeling like that you're not enjoying the best time of year. So sometimes I have to get out of my head and just be like, just walk outside for a second and like breathe. That's where that catchphrase comes from that I use at the end of my videos. Breathe deep of the night. It's just, I don't know if I ever explained this or talked about it, but all it means is it's kind of like stop and smell the roses, only a little darker. Um, Enjoy the scent of the far off burning pile of leaves in autumn that you sometimes smell in that time of year, or like the people's fireplaces, or just that sweet smell of decay from the leaves that are falling. Just enjoy it for a second. Don't take it for granted. Don't let it pass by without noting it. That's where that phrase comes from. Um, Thank you, Gorefather. Yeah, those calendars I think are very helpful. I'm gonna definitely put more effort into getting a new one out this year. 90s nostalgia. I always feel like I plan to do all these fun things during the Halloween season, then it instantly blows by and realize I haven't done anything. Yeah, it's there's a fine line between like over planning, under planning. I mean, finding that right mix of to feel like you're really doing something. I think I know I would imagine that almost everyone here is probably a fan of Dinosaur Dracula. Um, and if you're not, you should check out his stuff. He does some great things. Him and Sexy Armpit, they have this podcast called the Purple Stuff Podcast, and of course, Dinosaur Dracula does like Halloween videos, and he writes articles on a blog somewhere. And I find that most people who are interested in stuff that we are probably already know about him, but he's got the right idea. He essentially starts celebrating like right at the end of August. So right at the beginning of September, the end of August, he'll start to celebrate. And I tend to agree with that mindset that I can't start too early. If it doesn't feel like Halloween, then I'm just not in the spirit. But once it starts getting a little cool out and it's crisp weather and the leaves are kind of starting to turn a little bit and the stuff is showing up and Halloween stuff is showing up in the shops, and you walk in and say you see that first bag of candy corn or that first standy skeleton or whatever, first pumpkin pail, you get that feeling. Oh yeah, it's time of year. Start celebrating. Do it, right? As soon as you see that, start playing Halloween music in the car. Start listening to whatever music you listen to for Halloween. I have a Halloween playlist on my Spotify. You guys are more than welcome to follow. It's called Halloween and Moon Hill. Where you can, I don't know how you look stuff up on Spotify. I showed it last time, but yeah, it's just like get in there, start enjoying it, and don't take it for granted. And don't be too hard on yourself if you don't get out to that haunted house that you wanted to go to, or maybe you didn't get out to every pumpkin patch you wanted to that year, or any pumpkin patch, and you bought your pumpkin at a supermarket. You still got a pumpkin. Maybe you didn't get a pumpkin. Don't worry. Don't stress. Just enjoy what you can. That's so important. All right, so I feel like that's a high note to go out on. I've had a grand old time with you all here today. I'm glad that everyone was able to make it out and hang out with me for a little while I drank rum and coffee and talked about all kinds of random crap. I would like to do this once a week. I don't. It probably would be a good idea for me to do it the same time and day every week. So Mondays at 2 o'clock Eastern. That seemed to be good in terms of the turnout. Maybe we'll keep it going. I'll schedule them so you could set reminders. And listen, I am not the type of guy to be all like, subscribe to my channel. But if you are enjoying these live chats and you want to make sure that you don't miss them, it does help to subscribe, hit the notification bell, set the reminder when I put the post up for the event. Do it, don't do it. That's either way is fine. I don't mind. But I appreciate you all coming out. And of course, breathe deep in the night. Yeah. All right. I'll see you all soon. Have a good one.